Time for some deck tech. Hello beautiful people, hope you're having a lovely day. So this deck is based around card efficiency of getting cards by doing certain things. Now let's see what I can. Okay, this is Blazing Crescendo. We can throw that on the first. It's getting the first strike, so if they block it, then they don't block it. Well, I'm gonna do Crescendo anyway, because they're tapped out, they don't have any mana, they cannot really stop it anymore. Now I did 4 damage, and I got a mountain next turn. And that's the great thing about the Crescendo, you can even, you don't have to do it that turn, like the Solitude, you can do it next turn. So, getting that card out there, it's kind of a bit of a waste, but I could have been more useful later on, but now the guy knows I have to, the combat tricks. You have to be careful with me. You might not block me next time. And I still have to play with fire. So if I throw that on somebody and I do 1 first strike damage, I can do up to 3 toughness. I don't have to be afraid now. I have to play the mountain now, of course. So yes. If I attack, it can go a 3-1, so that's good anyway. I could do, but I need to keep my mana up to be able to upgrade it. Yeah, maybe I could have just played the Solitude there. I'm just gonna do 1 damage, fine. Face breaker. The thing is, if I had done a face breaker first, they could have just blocked it. That's kind of that's a bit of a pity. I could have done a tempered Solitude and then used to play with fire if they would have blocked. Could have been a better play there, but I would have still played the mountain, and then any mountain I would have gone off the Solitude. I would not be able to use it, or I wouldn't have been able to play any cards of the Solitude, because I probably would have used the fire. Only had 1 mana left, no land drop. So yeah, and wouldn't be that great anyway. Now this is not looking really well for me. I have lightning strike luckily. So I have to look more defensive right now. Man, he's gonna fly right over me. Now I could attack with the Voltaic Stinger. That would give, if I do a Solitude, then I can no longer do it. I need to be able to do a lightning strike. Yeah, the Solitude is not gonna be. I need to. I'm gonna lightning. I need to get rid of this guy. 5 damage a turn. That's not good. Now I could attack. I could attack with both actually. I think I'm gonna do that now. But you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of this thing, because this thing is tapped. So now I will get 2 tokens, treasures of, because this will do force damage, first strike damage. Then this one do damage. I will get 2 tokens. I will have 2 mana open, and I can turn them into 2 cards. So that's actually really good. Oh, I mean, I still have a mountain to play. I could do 1 Solitude. Maybe I just do 1 Solitude. It's a bit of pity to use a treasure for that, because it can turn into a card, but the earlier in the game, the more aggressive you have to play. We're not that early in the game anymore, but yeah, I'm still trying to build up some speed. If he kills one of my creatures and I attack with 1 creature next turn, at least I will have, I will get something from the Solitude if he destroys the face breaker. So that's why I did that. And like, I could have gotten a card from the treasure with the face breaker if it was still on the board. But now I might get a card from the Solitude. So in the end, it's gonna pay itself back. And I had 1 mana left, so it's not a bad idea. So if I played another Solitude and attack with 1 creature, I will get two cards straight away, which I can then play. That's fine. Taking 3 damage is no problem right now. Okay, so I'm not gonna play the land, because if I get 3 cards I won't be able to do that. Now, attacking with both, no, he could kill the face breaker. If I do a Solitude, I still have 3 mana left. Another thing I could do is just check out what this treasure will do, because now I can still turn it into a card. Okay, that changes a lot. I have to play that this turn, play until end of turn, so that has to be played. But do they know that? They probably do know that. But I could still attack. However, I'm just gonna risk my Voltaic Stinger. And you know, like, it's better to risk it. I mean, if I risk it, they risk it too. I don't know if they can see my Solitude Blazing Sky. And I just got a free another Voltaic Stinger. Now, no blocks. So I just got a card from Tempest Solitude. I'm gonna get another token from the Face Breaker. So that was a good play. Now, I want to start playing these cards, because or else I'm just gonna lose them. So there's no use in cracking that treasury open for another card. And I have 1 land to play. I can do for darn things. So I got my 2 free cards this turn. I was able to play them, and yeah, this is really good. And I have like a treasure token for next turn. So I'm growing. Now he has a flying 3/2, but I have a flying 4/4 now. So I think we're doing really well right now. So if Blazing Sky dies, I can choose to have either 3 treasure tokens, which could be 3 cards, or I could have it like give me 2 cards until the end of next turn. So anyway, this could be this is a really good card, Blazing Sky. I only have 1 of them in the deck because basically the 4-drop in this deck can be troublesome. Exile until, and that's borrow time is an enchantment. I don't have enchantment removal. I wish now I could kill my own creature or something. I don't have a sacrifice outlet. So yeah, that's he got me there. I lost that card, and any benefits it would have given me. And he can attack with his 4/3, so that was a good play on his turn. So let's see. Now, I can crack open the treasure now, because I have 5 mana. So that's a free land. I'm just gonna turn that in. I have 6. That's good. I could attack with both stingers. But yeah, the problem right now is that flyer. I could do 4. No, it's maybe just attack with 1 guy. Do a Solitude. No, I need a dragon. I need a strong dragon right now. I need to play defensive. If he removes my Devastator, on the other hand, if I get 3 cards, I can afford to lose 1 stinger. Play with fire. That's nice. Gonna get rid of this annoying guy. Now if he blocks, I might just let that thing die, because the stinger is not that important. Like, if I use, he doesn't know of course that I can do Shivan Devastator, so I'm just gonna let that guy die. That's fine, because I need that Devastator. So that's gonna be 4. Would have been better if it could actually survive an attack, but I'm afraid he's gonna have removal anyway, and he's gonna do 4 damage at least with that flyer next turn. So yeah, that flyer is really, and his removal of that's not good. And the exile removal, another flyer. Oh no. I can still block it and kill it, which I have to do. Let's see what he's gonna do. Okay, we're gonna trade, fine. But he has another flyer. Now, this is gonna be really tricky. I need to get rid of those 2 guys. If I attack with everything, because yeah, he can attack 1 turn, then if I do Solitude and attack with 1, I will get 2 cards. No abilities. I will get 2 free cards. Yes, lightning strikes. Yeah, I'm gonna, if I lose the stinger, that's no problem. I should have waited until he blocked with the 3/3, because then I could have killed it and my stinger would survive. Oh, he didn't block. That was a big mistake. Okay, now I have lots of stuff left. What should I do? Another blocker. Well, this I'm gonna crack it. I have 3 mana left, so I will be able to play most things except for a land right now. So another blocker would probably be at, I'm at 6, so probably basically another blocker there. So yeah, I guess you can understand it, how this deck works. The Stormseeker is there to give like haste to creatures, which is good in this deck. The Facebreaker, it gives me like treasure tokens, which will turn into cards. The Darn Stinger is just a really early 1-drop that, because that's first strike, really combines really well. It can pump itself up for 3, which is expensive, but it is a threat for my opponent. I can use other abilities on it, like the 3 instants that I have. One does 2 damage, another does 3 damage, and the other gives +3 +1. So it works really well with a first striker. Let's see. I could do I'm just gonna attack with 1, I think, but I need to be able to. You see, it works well even with Stinger. No, I'm not gonna do that. I could do it. Right now he has nothing to, but I will get 2 cards from just attacking by 1 with 1. So yeah. Let's see what he does. He doesn't know how to play with fire. I can combine play with fire with the first strike. So if I do 2 damage to the 2/3 and then hit it with first strike damage, it will die and my stinger survives. Now the initiate is just going to chump block. It's going to die anyway if it blocks now right now. Then I can use my mana and my for my Facebreaker and to do something else, maybe you know, maybe he will take the damage. It's only 2 damage. Like, why would he sacrifice creatures? He's better off not take. He's better off just letting me do 2 damage and then try to do me 6 damage. That's what I would try to do. And he has no mana left, so he's probably thinking really hard. Probably has something that he can do. I mean, he could just block with the 2/3, of course. But yeah, I could pump it up by 2, so it would be a 4/1. I could still play the mountain, the face breaker. So, but he can chump block if he's really scared of losing life. But he probably is trying to think how he can kill my creatures or something. Maybe he has some pump spell or something. Wow. I think he just went out to get himself a sandwich or something. So, yeah. So you can see this deck has some really nice workings. I mean, the Curse of Hospitality is basically the same as the Face Breaker or like the Solitude. It will give me, for every creature that does damage, I will get a card from my opponent to play with. So it is better than the Solitudes or the Breakers on them own. Okay, so I'm gonna do damage and get a token. That's nice. Now, of course, I'm gonna play my 3 cards first. Then I'm gonna crack open my other 3 cards. Who doesn't like presents? Yeah, what can we do? I think it's time to do a curse now. So I could attack with more than 1 creature now, and then I'm gonna keep the play with fire because it works. It gives me so much options with the stinger, and it's cheaper than using the ability that costs 3 mana. This only costs 1 mana. So if I am getting into trouble with my mana, I mean, the play with fire has so many things that I can do with it, and it's like something that I have in my hand instead of like waiting for like the cards that I'm gonna receive. But the Solitudes are really good because as soon as you attack, you get the cards. The only thing is you can only attack with 1 creature, of course. So it's a slow. You're slow to damage your opponent. He's not gonna die quickly, but you're gonna build up a lot of power. And you can see the Stormseeker. It gives can give haste to this creature. It can give a +1 to the stinger. So I have 1 Stormseeker in the deck. For that reason, I have 4 Face Breakers, I have 4 Stingers, 4 Solitudes, 1 Hospitality. I think I have a bunch of Play with Fires. I'm not sure if I have 4. I mean, we can have a real quick look at the deck, what I have in it. So if you want to build the deck yourself, it's not a really expensive deck to make. So because I hadn't played in a while, I didn't have much cards to play with. I haven't played in months actually, just been too busy with work and all the stuff I've been doing. So okay, so now I have 1 of these because, well, 1 damage is nice. It gives +1/+1. So I have a Phoenix Chick. If I have a Voldaren Stinger, +1/+1 on a Voldaren Stinger is really nice. Now the Phoenix Chicks, because I get cards when I attack. I get cards when I do damage to my opponent. Now Phoenix Chick, it has flying, it has haste, so it can attack as soon as it comes into play, which is really good. It can fly over my opponent, which makes it easier for me to attack. So if I have like a Solitude and I attack with a Phoenix Chicks, I'm just gonna get a card just from attacking. And then I'm probably not gonna die because he has flying and it does only 1 damage, but yeah, I already got the extra card. Now Lightning Strike, of course you need to get rid of annoying creatures that are, you can target your opponent, and you're gonna get a lot of free cards, and having a Lightning Strike as a free card, or even better maybe a Blazing Crescendo. Why is it better? Well, yeah, sure, you have to play it on a creature. If there's no creatures, then that's a problem, but you're probably gonna have creatures, because how are you gonna get free cards, right? So, but so you put it on your creature, and I put it on the stinger. It has now it's a 4/2 first strike, so it will, anything that will block it will probably die now, especially if you can have lightning strikes around, or play with fires. You're gonna go. That's gonna be a huge first strike attack. Nobody gonna withstand that until they have the indestructible or something. You're gonna get a free card that you can play not only that turn, but you can even choose to play it in the next turn from Blazing Crescendo. This is really an amazing card. I mean, it's so much better than even Lightning Strike or play with fire, but yeah, just play all of them. Because Lightning Strike's a very useful card. Although it doesn't give free cards, it will get rid of opponents. Like I said, it works with first strike. And maybe if your opponent has one flyer, sometimes they have one or two flyers, get rid of the flyer, attack with your Phoenix Chick, alright? Same for play with fire, it's just a cheaper version. You're gonna get lots of free cards. Having play with fires around, to use that 1 mana that you have to get that combat trick to do something is good. Now, a rabbit battery, it gives, again, like you can put it on your stinger. So now it's a 2/2 first strike. You can put on your Phoenix Chick, so now it's a 1/1 flying haste creature. It will give haste to creatures, so your stinger now has haste. Now there's another one, Voltaic Visionary. Now you can give that creature haste with a rabbit battery. Now I wouldn't play lots of batteries. I mean, I have a few options. But having one battery, well, I think it can be useful. It's a nice little tricky. Again, it's another creature that you can attack with, get free stuff. Same thing for Reinforced Ronin. It can get expensive playing 1 mana every turn for 2/2, but it has haste, it comes back to your hand. You always have some creature that you can attack with and trigger the Solitudes. So that's nice. Let's say, yeah, this card, man, look at it. It's for 2 mana, a 3/1 is already a nice card. Now, if you give it haste or next turn, you can take 2 damage and get a free card to play that turn. And if you play the card, if it's a land or something that you can play, if it's 1, 2 or 3 mana, whatever, or even 4 mana, and you play it, then it gets transformed into a 4/3 attacker that you can use each turn for attacking. Now that's a good attacker for 2 mana, 4/3, and you get a free card. Now I don't know, this is like a really, really amazing card to have. It's so good. So yeah, it's so good. The only thing is you're gonna take the 2 damage, but again, like, yeah, if you're winning, then it doesn't really matter taking a few damage once in a while. If you're not winning, like, that's why you need the lightning strikes. Get rid of those annoying flyers, attackers early in the game. Play with fire, kill your the 2/1s or the 3/2s that are attacking you. Get rid of them. Make sure that you're not losing more health than your opponent. Now, Crystal Hospitality, I think already said it. It gives you, for each creature that attacks and does damage, it will give you a card of your opponent. So there's some lands that you can use. There's some cards that you can have. It's a fun card to have, only one, but it fits the deck. And like, if they don't have enchantment removal, it's at least, and they are really good at removing your creatures. Again, it's like a Solitude on steroids. Where Solitude you can only attack with 1 creature. Here you can attack with all your creatures. Phase Breaker is basically the same card. It gives you a free card for every creature that does damage, except it's only like 1 a turn. Like whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to your player creature. So it's only when they do damage. So if you have 5 creatures doing damage, you will only get 1 treasure token. Except, and that's why we have the Stinger. Of course, first strike damage is a different phase. So, like if you look in double strike, first you do first strike damage, and then there's a second phase that does the normal damage. So, Fall Down Stinger does damage, and then your other creatures do. Then your Phoenix Chick does damage. So now you get 2 cards of 2 treasuries You can even use them just for the mana once in a while, but I would try to use them as free cards, which are much better than like a free mana. But still, now Stormseeker, it's like it gives haste. It can give himself haste when it comes into play. Then it's a 3/3 that attacks haste. Again, you need attacking haste creatures is good in this deck. It will trigger the Solitudes or whatever you have. But also it can give it to like the Stinger, like you saw in the game. It can give it to Phoenix Chick, make it a 2/1. Just do some extra little damage. When you do attack with one creature, do some extra damage. And now, this one, I think already said it in the game, it's expensive for mana, but the thing is that I didn't have much cards to play anyway, so having a mythic that is actually playable in this deck is really good. So of course I'm gonna put it in, and it gives either 3 treasure tokens, which I can turn into 3 creatures. I haven't tried that yet, but if it dies, if they don't exile it, then you will get two cards that you could play until your next turn. So even if the creature dies, if you play it for 4 mana, you have 4 mana, it dies before your next turn. It doesn't really matter because the cards can be played in the turn after that. So you get your 4 mana, you have another 4 or 5 mana next turn to play those 2 cards. So it is a good. Shivan Devastator, it can be played for 2 mana. So that's a 1/1 flying haste. It's basically, if you do it like that, it's just another Phoenix Chick, right? Except Phoenix Chicks can also come back from the graveyard. Like if this deck didn't have enough card advantage. Well, I call it card. It's not card draw. It's card advantage. So this thing, like if whenever situation you are, it is very flexible. And again, it has haste, it can attack, it can draw you cards, it has flying, it has evasion, it can fly over things and draw you cards, get you cards to play, extra cards to play that turn. And it can be a 1/1, a 2/2, or 5/5, a 4/4, whatever, a 7/7. Depends on how far you are along in the game, how much mana you want to invest into one card. But of course, and again, it's like another mythic that I had that was working for me. I didn't have to use one of my I have like 27 mythic rares and 69 rares available, so yeah. But still, I just try to make it work with the cards that I have, and yeah, it works. So that is the deck tech. Now would I improve something on this deck? Well, right now, no, I don't know. Not really. Like I had more like Kumunos, but if you look at all the other cards, they're so good right now. I wouldn't know what would be better than a Kumuno, or worse than a Kumuno. So the fact it gives +1/+1, I can turn it on, play 1, and becomes a 2/2 creature with haste. That's nice. It's okay card. And and then the rabbit battery, it gives haste. These are, I'm just gonna say the cards that you could, like the Kumuno, maybe if you have something. The rabbit is not, Ronin is okay. For Down Stinger is great, Phoenix Stick is great, Play with Fire is great, Crescendo is amazing because it gives you like a free card back until next turn. Lightning Strike is very useful. Temperature Solitude, of course, that's the staple of this deck. That's what the deck is built around. Visionary, the same thing, giving you free cards, being a 4/3 attacker. Hospitality is just another one of those cards that does the same thing as the rest of the deck. Professional Face Breaker, you need 4 of those because that card is amazing. It's a 2/3 creature with menace that gives you treasuries and free cards. So what else do you want? And if you have a Stinger there, it will give you maybe even 2 cards in the turn. If you have 2 on the board, you can get maybe 4 cards from just attacking with a Stinger and a Phoenix Chick. So yeah, Stormseeker, it's not a necessity, but I had it. It was a rare, and it works kind of good with just having a one-off, boosting the other good cards like a Phoenix, like especially a Stinger. Having +1 on the first striker is always good. Giving haste to like a Stinger or something else. Giving haste and giving +1 is good, so it's a nice card. Especially you can give it haste on itself. Is it necessary in this deck? It kind of has synergy. Now Blazing, this is already getting so much free cards, but I had it. It's a mythic, and it's nice. It's just a powerful card in this deck, and there's like the more mana you have to pay for a card, the more power you want in it. Now this can give me it gives me a flying trample, and not haste sadly, but it's a flying trample 4/4, which can turn into 2 free cards, or even 3 treasure tokens, which can be turned into another 3 cards. Definitely a powerful card. Shivan Devastator, just very flexible. You can even look at this as like a 2 mana creature, a 2 mana 1/1 flyer that can be turned into a 7/7 dragon or something. Yeah. Yeah, this gives you lots of flexibility because you want those creatures to be attacking with. So I would give this just as good as the Phoenix chick, or better, because it has those abilities.